guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Here we are. It's Monday, March 20th, 2017. We have gold currently trading at $1,234.70. Silver's trading at $17.49. And I wanted to discuss something somebody brought up in the comments. On Friday, a group of major cryptocurrency exchanges, they announced their planned response to the split of Bitcoin into two separate pools of currency and processing power. They called it a hard fork. I'm sure you've heard the news, but it's viewed as increasingly likely among Bitcoin leaders. Now, what has taken place? The marketplaces, including marquee portals Bitstamp and Kraken, said on Friday that if a hard fork occurs, they will let users trade both conventional Bitcoin and any alternative version that emerges. The most likely Bitcoin spinoff is known as Bitcoin Unlimited, which is the world's largest Bitcoin server group or mining pool, recently announced that it would back. So Bitcoin has been pushed to the verge of this split by years of debate about what's known as block size. Under Bitcoin's existing code, there's tight limit on the amount of data that can be included in a batch of transactions, and the network has grown in popularity. That limit slowed the processing of payments. That moves that once took seconds now can take hours. And so there's competing visions about any fixed goals and methods. One Bitcoin entrepreneur has summarized the divide between a Bitcoin Unlimited contingent updating Bitcoin to support many small transactions and a Bitcoin core cadre who believes in smaller changes, fewer transactions, and more stability. The decentralized, even anarchistic nature of the Bitcoin administration makes the process of change unwieldy. And so this is where the danger comes in. The reason that I report on this is, number one, a key part of Bitcoin's recent success is its aggressive marketing campaign. Now, I could be like many others and discuss Bitcoin for my own profit because there are extremely lucrative deals that will pay me in Bitcoins in order to direct people to my own links, as you will see show up on these videos very frequently. And so the question comes to the point where how can they give away free Bitcoin? Where can Bitcoin come from? If Bitcoin costs above $1,000 per Bitcoin, where can it come from? And the issue at hand with Bitcoin is that it is an idea. It is an idea. And the dangers and the reason that you see so much shuffling around in Bitcoin is the fact that because it is so profitable. Now, there are many numbers of different Bitcoin agencies that were created that don't offer real Bitcoin. They caught a couple that were supposedly selling Bitcoin that the owners that they took the Federal Reserve notes or whatever currency they were using, brought into their system. They didn't really have any Bitcoin and they didn't have any actual value, so it was all fake. So really they just gave over their money and it was a scheme. And in essence, what you're following is an idea. That's what Bitcoin is. It's an idea. And blockchain is the technology that it runs on. But the idea of its value is not derived from anything but people's speculation, people putting more money into it. So in essence, it is a giant Ponzi scheme. Now, I could make myself independently wealthy by using this channel to promote my own Bitcoin link, where you guys can come and buy Bitcoin or play this game and get Bitcoin. But in essence, I view it as wrong. I view it as wrong, and I want to be accurate in my reporting. And I want to be honest in just what is taking place, because this is the reason you see so much in the headlines about it, because it has such an aggressive marketing campaign, because it survives on this. And where are all these Bitcoins coming from? Where's all this money coming from? You see, when people put money into an idea that has no backing or tangible value, the people who are in control of those transactions accumulate vast amounts of paper or wealth or money, and now they are the bearers of the money. And so when there are breakups and changes to other different networks, as we saw with previous cryptocurrencies, what you see is that it takes a long time. You see, Bitcoin started at 0.05 cents per Bitcoin. Imagine if you had bought in then, how much you would be worth. And so some of the people that were involved in the creation and the launching of Bitcoin are very wealthy. And so to restart from the bottom, you would have things like your Steemit that is only at 20 cents, a Steam dollar. And so you would have to start very low again. And you would also need to give up all of that money that has been given to you. And so the real danger that they are in, the people who have invested in Bitcoin, is the fact that some of these largest transaction groups that have been verified and trustworthy have different competing philosophies about the direction of Bitcoin. And they are creating two different types of Bitcoin. Because the Bitcoin name is so popular, they already have accumulated so much of the wealth, they don't want to give it back. And they also want to maintain their own independent system from each other. So they're creating two different types of Bitcoin. So the question you must ask yourself is, which one should I be in? Which one is going to completely collapse? Which one is going to fail? Are they going to diminish the potency of one another? Are they both going to go to half the value? Or is this the complete destruction of Bitcoin? You see, the idea of a decentralized currency is brilliant. But as we see in China, it is a threat to currencies, to the dollar. A dollar collapse is not something we want to see. But also whenever you have power, as we saw with the Federal Reserve, the same idea where they could create value in paper out of nothing, this implied value has led to great corruption, great control, and great power. And so the same thing can take place in something like Bitcoin because it's backed by nothing. So the unlimited creation of imaginary value, implied value, is very lucrative. And the fact that people want to be in complete control of this, and there's multiple different factions forming, is not surprising. It's also very dangerous to those who are invested in Bitcoin because it is extremely unpredictable what could happen at this stage as a result of a fallout or a hard fork, or these people altering their course dramatically. Because what if you're left at the end of this musical chairs when the music stops holding the particular brand of Bitcoin? Because if it's no longer one individual Bitcoin, but it's multiple types of Bitcoin only capitalizing on the name, then in essence, the speculation could be diverted towards one. Whoever has the most aggressive marketing campaign could leave those in the pool of the other completely with lost money. And now, like I said, I could make a great deal of wealth in Bitcoin promoting it to you, but I see that it's a grave danger. And really what is best for the economy and for the citizens is precious metals like silver and gold, is investing in something tangible that its value, though it is also controlled, similar to the Federal Reserve banks that set the prices, these massive banks, the price can be controlled, the ETFs can be controlled, but what cannot be controlled is the true value of gold and silver. It holds its weight against inflation. It continuously rises. If you look back to 1964, gold was $35 an ounce. Now we see that it's riding at $1,230 an ounce. So what we've seen is an increase in those who have held gold and those who have held silver. While these new ideas, though they may be noble and many people may get into them, it's still only an idea. And there is great corruption whenever there is centralized power in a product that can be made without any actual tangible assets. So there's a great possibility of corruption, which we are seeing now, where these people don't want to relinquish the Bitcoin name, the Bitcoin brand, but they want to create their own cryptocurrency so they can centralize and create more wealth for themselves. So this is a great danger for the Bitcoin market. Very similar to what happened in gold and silver, but the difference is the true value of gold and silver. It holds its wealth. And these are the people that have been targeted the most. The gold and silver, the precious metals investors, the alternate currency crowds have been targeted the most in this Bitcoin. And the marketing is what is pushing this. And who knows if the pool you end up with, the type of Bitcoin you end up with, fails in this marketing attempt. All right, thank you guys for joining me here on the Silver Report. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, get the word out. I thank you guys all so much for stopping by. As always, stay safe.